Hi everyone, glad to see everyone on my aquarium channel. Today I want to tell you briefly how reproduction occurs in guppy fish. And when you have a moment and your pets will begin to reproduce, you need to be ready and do not make mistakes. Watch the video to the end and you will learn everything. But first, please subscribe to the channel, I will be very grateful. Breeding guppies at home is a breeze. These little fish are quite prolific, and they'll do their thing in any regular old aquarium with just about any water conditions. You don't need to set up any fancy specific environments for them, but if you're keen on maximizing those baby counts, you might want to stick to a few guidelines. Now, the thing about letting guppies breed in your everyday tank is that it comes with a bit of a catch. Their offspring might not fare so well. See, these guppies aren't exactly the helicopter parents type. When it comes to their babies, they're more about quantity over quality. So if you want most of those little ones to survive, you'll want to make sure your tank has plenty of hiding spots for them. Think mossy nooks, small leafy plants bobbing on the surface, and a bunch of artificial shelters tailor-made for the newborns to retreat into. It's all about creating a safe space where the fry can duck in and out of trouble, away from the hungry mouths of their fellow tank mates. After all, in the wild, these youngsters would typically find refuge in vegetation or other cozy hideouts to avoid being someone's lunch. And hey, if you really get into the guppy breeding game, you can even experiment with different setups to see what works best for your fishy friends. Just keep an eye on those water conditions, give them some space to grow up in peace, and watch your guppy family tree flourish. A good option for keeping guppy offspring in a common aquarium is to use special strainers. They are designed in such a way that the fry through small slits get into a separate compartment and will not be eaten. After the return of the female in the aquarium, fry remain to live in the sedimentation tank. Here they are fed and grow up until they are ready for life in the main aquarium. If possible, the pregnant female is best placed in a separate spawning aquarium. Here, the chances of survival of the fry will be maximized. Water in such a spawning tank is dialed from the main aquarium, but its temperature is recommended to increase to 26 to 27 degrees C. It is desirable to equip the tank with a small filter and aeration system. Guppies reach sexual maturity at the age of 3 to 5 months. After that, males begin to actively pursue the female, and if she reciprocates, the appearance of offspring is not far off. It is worth noting that one male can fertilize several females. So in the aquarium, it is recommended to maintain such a ratio that one male had 2 to 3 females. This will also avoid conflicts between males. After spawning, the male's milk enters the female's reproductive tract, where fertilization takes place. The development of eggs also occurs in the body of the mother, which allows you to get out already formed and capable of independent feeding fry. Sometimes aquarists meet with such an interesting phenomenon when the female guppies sit in the aquarium without males, but continues to give birth fry. This is explained quite simply. Females are able to keep the sexual products of the male for a long time and use them for fertilization at the right time. Therefore, any female who has been at least a short period of time with males can become a potential mother. Incubation of eggs usually takes about a month and is highly dependent on water temperature. A female ready to give birth can be distinguished by a number of signs. The abdomen is greatly enlarged, becoming almost square near the anal fin, increases in size and darkens the so-called birthmark. The female begins to increasingly seclude herself in dense vegetation or other hiding places. As soon as you notice these signs, it is recommended to place the female in a sedimentation tank or spawning aquarium. Appearance of a dark spot near the anal fin, a sure sign of approaching labor. Taking good care of your guppy newborns is key to raising healthy, vibrant fish. In a regular tank, the biggest threat to guppy fry tends to be their tank mates, so it's crucial to set up as many hiding spots as possible for the babies. And the top-notch choice here is live plants like cattail, Nias, Alodia, Javanese moss, Pistia, and Richia. These green buddies offer excellent cover for the little ones to dodge any unwanted attention from their nosy neighbors. Now, if you're really serious about nurturing those guppy fry into their full-fledged fin selves, a separate breeding tank is the real deal. While some hobbyists may opt for a puny 3-liter jar, it's not the ideal pick for a proper breeding environment. Think bigger. Aim for an aquarium of about 1 to 2 gallons of water, complete with an air filter. To keep things stable, fill the tank with water from the main aquarium to avoid any sudden parameter swings. Plus, keeping the tank bottom clean from the get-go will save you a headache down the line when tending to your special breeding zone. Don't forget a wee heater. For the first few days after the fry show up, maintain a cozy 28 degrees C in the breeding tank, gradually lowering it to a comfy 24 degrees C, and water change alert. Make sure to switch out 20 to 40% of the tank water regularly to keep those little ones happy and healthy. Once in a blue moon, you might come across a situation where the mama guppy delivers some underdeveloped fry with yolk sacs still attached. This typically happens when care standards slip, and sadly, most of these premature fry don't make it. It's a tough lesson in the importance of providing top-notch care from day one. Now, don't get antsy waiting for those tiny tykes to show off their colors. Patience is key, and the time it takes for their hues to pop varies from breed to breed. So sit tight, enjoy the process, and watch those little guppies grow and glow. The fecundity of one female depends on her age and functional state. Usually 20 to 40 fry are born. But some females in the prime of life are able to bring up to 100 babies, often observed batch labor, when the female throws fry in groups, and between the two stages can take several days. After the completion of labor, females should be removed from the spawning aquarium so that the mother did not eat their own offspring. You can tell the sex of guppies as early as 1 to 3 months of age. If you observe carefully, you will see how the anal fin of males lengthens and curls to form the gonopodium. As soon as it is possible to distinguish between males and females, they should be planted in different aquariums. On the one hand, this reduces stress in young females, because quickly developing males often chase them and literally do not give them passage. On the other, will not allow a single male to fertilize a large proportion of females. This is especially important when breeding purebred guppies, otherwise you will not be able to keep the features you need, such as the shape of the fins or color line. Guppy fry are born already formed. Their size at birth averages about 3.94 inches. The first thing a guppy does is to rise to the surface of the water and take a gulp of air to fill its swim bladder. After that, most of the time the babies hide in hiding, eat well, and grow quickly. For the first 5 days, the fish should be fed abundantly and provided with round-the-clock lighting. For those guppy fry to reach their full potential, they've got to chow down right. These little guys have a leg up with their decent size from the get-go. They can handle some pretty chunky snacks straight out of the gate. At this stage, nailing their diet with all the essential nutrients, vitamins, and trace elements is vital. Enter baby food, a stellar pick for kickstarting the guppy fry feeding frenzy. If you can't snag these goodies, no need to fret. Guppy fry will gladly dig into crushed-up Tetramin Universal Flake food. It just needs a little pre-crushing TLC from your hands. Now, onto the feeding schedule. In the debut week post-hatch, these munchkins should be chowing down 6 times a day. Come week 2, scale it back to 4 meals, and then taper down to 3 meals a day until the fish hit the 2-month mark. After each feeding session, it's a smart move to vacuum up any leftover grub with a siphon to keep the water pristine. Healthy guppy fry are zippy and sport a nice round belly. If you notice any finicky appetites among the fry, it might be a hint that the water quality needs a checkup. In that case, bust out those water test kits and zero in on those nitrogenous compounds levels to keep your little ones thriving and diving. And that's it. Thank you all. Write in the comments who faced with breeding and what successes achieved. Bye everyone.